Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to write your theme analysis email. Um, so just a couple things here. First of all, it is actually really important the way that you send this email. In your to box here, you're going to just pick anybody else who you know is in English with you. Any other student is just fine. So in my case, I'm just going to pretend that I'm writing an email to Ms. Kenning. I'm going to pretend she's in my English class with me. But the other part of this that's very important is that you CC me in this email. And that means that I can see what you sent. That's really important because otherwise I don't know that you did this assignment. So make sure you click CC and put in my email. So you just type in my name, my address should come up right here. You absolutely have to do that so I can see that you did the assignment. So you've got your address filled out. This should be another student in English 7. And you have me CC'd underneath it. You should just see the CC in the side here. For subject, go ahead and type in theme analysis email. So that way the person who's getting your email knows that it's part of this assignment. So in the message part here, I already have some of this filled out. You'll find this same template posted on your HyperDoc as well. But think of this as kind of like a mini paper. So you're not writing paragraphs of information, but you're just exploring a few important ideas that are in the text. And you're going to use what you write for these top 3 to figure out what you think the theme of the excerpt is. So before we do that, though, we'll start with a basic greeting. It's always good to start your emails that way. So you might say, dear blank, whoever the name of the person you're sending your email to is. So I would say, dear Miss Henning. Or you could also say, hi. I start my emails this way a lot. Hi or hello. However you decide to greet your person, make sure you add something at the top here. Following that, you're going to tell them a few things about what you read in The Grapes of Wrath. So I want you to start by talking about the setting a little bit. Remember, setting is where the story takes place. So in this case, I have a starter sentence here for you. The setting of The Grapes of Wrath looks like blank. So you might talk a little bit about the dust storms. That's actually the biggest detail we get about the setting is that it's very dusty, which makes a lot of sense. So you might talk a little bit about that, or you might talk about where geographically you think this story is set. We know it's somewhere in sort of the central south United States because it is in that Dust Bowl area. But tell this person what you think the setting is of the story. Going down, your next step here is historical context, which basically means what you know about what was going on at the time that the story was set. And we know this is happening during the dust storms in the 30s. So that actually helps us understand a few things about the story and why the characters are acting the way that they do. In this case, your starter sentence is, the dust storms make the characters decide to blank. So because of these dust storms that we've been learning about, what are the characters in the text doing? What do they have to do in response to those dust storms? And there should be one big thing that comes to mind that they talk about a lot in the text there. Third, you're going to look at the characters' actions. So what are they doing throughout this story? And this goes along with what you answered above here. See if you can add to that a little bit. Overall, what are the characters doing throughout the story? And you could also think of specifically what they do at the end of the story. And after you've answered those 3 questions, your last sentence of your email should say something about what you think the theme of the story is, or the theme of the excerpt. And theme is a little bit different than main message. You're not necessarily saying what the story, or what kind of advice, or what kind of message the story is trying to tell you. It's more what overall idea is the story about. So for an example, a really great theme for The Grapes of Wrath would be survival. This idea of doing whatever it is you need to do to stay alive. That is something that we see these characters doing. So that is an example of theme, and I can kind of get this from what I see happening up here. All these really terrible things are happening to these characters, but they're doing what they need to do to survive. So you think of a different word that you think could describe the theme of the excerpt, and that is what you're going to end your email with. And if you want, you can say, what do you think? This is a great way to share your thoughts with somebody else and get some feedback for what this story is about. And that's actually why we're doing this assignment this way. I want you to see what some of your other classmates are thinking about what we're reading. So if you want to reply to an email that you get from somebody's theme analysis email, you can. That's a great way just to check each other's work. Then make sure you just sign off your email. You can say sincerely, or you could say from, whatever your sign off is going to be. But that is overall what I want your email to look like. Again, you'll find this framework linked on your HyperDoc as well. If you want to even copy paste that, that is fine with me, as long as what you write at the end is unique to you. Again, let me know if you have any questions about this assignment, but that is the gist of what I'm looking for here.